Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm Annie, this is Stanley, and we're here to talk about books. So today's video is going to be my May TBR, selecting all of the books that I'm planning on reading in May, but exciting times, my first ever YouTube collaboration. Woo! You excited, Stanley? I know I am. So Louise over on Foxes and Fairy Tales has been a booktuber I've been following for a while, and she has an adorable TBR game, which is a little game board. It's kind of like a 3D game board made out of metal that she found in a charity shop and has turned into her TBR game, which is absolutely gorgeous, and I've really enjoyed watching her TBR videos. And she invited me to come along and play TBR Tailspin with her to pick our May TBRs. So yes, very excited, first ever YouTube collaboration. I feel like I've arrived. Anyway, before we get to the TBR Tailspin, let's make some tea. Oh, how I love my tea drawers. What is the tea of the day? 15. So that's 12, 13, 14, 15. Jade Oolong Rose. Excellent. Ooh, quite a lot of that. Good old past me has already boiled the kettle. Possibly, well, a bit too much water in there. But this is quite a big teapot. Oh, Jade Oolong Rose. Excellent. So now that we've got our tea, which as regular viewers will know is always an important accompaniment to reading in my book. See what I did there? Anyway, I might be a bit giddy. I'm sorry, a bit giddy about collaboration. If you want to see the full video of us actually playing the game, then you'll have to head over to Louise's channel, and I will stick a card. I don't really do cards, so it's either going to be over there or it's going to be over there. But anyway, I'll put a link up to her video, so go and watch that so that you can actually see the gameplay. And because most of the books that I am reading in May came from the TBR Tailspin rolls, if you are watching that video, then the next clip of me selecting my books is going to be a repeat. But there's more. There's always more. So do come back. If you go away to watch Louise's video and then you come back here to get to the new stuff, you need to go to the timestamp that I'm going to put up on the screen now. Gosh, this is getting complicated, isn't it? Anyway, so in terms of picking my books based on the TBR Tailspin prompts, I think the game has been pretty nice to me and it's worked out rather well. First of all, I got historical setting, and for that I'm going to use The Murderer's Ape by Jacob Vergelius, which I actually picked up from my local station free book exchange bookcase, which is an excellent place for me to get books. I've got all sorts of random, weird and wonderful books from there. It's middle grade, I believe, and it's from the point of view of a gorilla called Sally, who is the ship's engineer on a ship in a historical setting, I believe, and various things occur which mean that her friend, the chief, is falsely accused of murder, and she has to try and figure out how to save him. It's a bit of a chonker, but it is middle grade, so I'm hoping it'll be a fairly quick read. It's also going to fulfill my non-human point of view for Reddit Fantasy Bingo, and for May, the buzzword cover challenge is a book with a border or frame around the cover, so that fits rather nicely. So that's great. 3 prompts in one book. Next up is an audiobook, which is The Matchmaker's Gift by Linda Cohen-Loigman, which is going to fulfill my TBR Tailspin green cover prompt. And this one is about a matchmaker who I believe uses magic to help in her matchmaking. And it's one of those split narrative ones. So there's a historical narrative, and I think her granddaughter in modern day New York finds letters to do with things that went on in the past and discovers things about her family history. So that sounds really good. It's also going to fulfill my buzzword title challenge for May, which is make or maker in the title. So that's self-explanatory. And I'm going to use it for choose a book by its title for Reddit Fantasy Bingo, because I think this one sounds really good. I'm not going to get hard mode, which is to go in completely blind, because I have looked up what it's about. But, you know, still another one with 3 prompts for the book, which is excellent. Next up was my personal goal prompt from TBR Tailspin, and I know that Louise already has continuing a series as one of the colours on the TBR Tailspin board, but I didn't get that one, and my video last month that I did was about series that I'm in the middle of and wanting to continue them. So I'm going to use that as my personal goal for this, and I'm going to pick Search and Recovery by Christine Catherine Ruche, which is book 11 in the Retrieval Artist series, which is a sci-fi series which usually involves murder mysteries or missing people and lots of interesting alien cultures, and I've really been enjoying it, so I'm glad to have the opportunity to continue with that. It's also going to fulfill my Magical Readathon Patreon Bog Challenge prompt for May, which is space, and these books are set in space. They are sci-fi space operas, so that works out for that. I also rolled on the TBR-a-thon Lost in the Library game board and picked the new or old square, and this fulfills both because it's my latest book purchase. I only actually bought it this morning or as an ebook, and it's also old because it has actually been on my TBR for a while, because it's almost a year since I read the last one in the series, so that works out for that. And Reddit Fantasy Bingo, I'm using it for the small press or self-published square because this was published by a small press. So 4 prompts in one book for this one. And last but not least, I got the challenge square for TBR Tailspin, which is fantastic because, as you will have noticed, all of these books are fulfilling prompts on other challenges. So this was an easy one for me to fill. And I'm picking The Bone Maker by Sarah Beth Durst, which is also going to be an audio book for me. It's a fantasy book which is set after a terrible evil has been defeated, and the heroes that helped defeat the bad guy are struggling in various ways in continuing on with their lives. And the protagonist is a bone maker, which is something that's been outlawed in the new regime, but she is wanting to use her bone making magic to resurrect her husband. So I am also going to use it for the Afterlife Square for Reddit Fantasy Bingo, which is to read a book which deals with the realm of the dead. It could also fulfill the buzzword title challenge of make or maker in the title if the Matchmaker's Gift doesn't work out for me. And on the Adventures in Aeldia Magical Readathon map, I didn't get a choice of which way to go on the map this month, and my prompt was a dystopian, and since it seems like the protagonist's magic has been outlawed, and if she uses it she's going to get burned, I believe, that feels pretty dystopian to me, so I'm going to use it for that. So another triple prompts fulfilled in one book. So that's my book selection, The Murderer's Ape and the other 3 that you can see here. Thank you so much to Louise for letting me play TBR Tailspin. It's been really fantastic fun. And yes, I will look forward to see more TBR Tailspin in the future. So thank you for either watching through the whole of this video or coming back in after skipping the bit that you've already seen in Louise's video. I have a couple of other books to add onto the TBR because, you know, it wouldn't be a reading month if I wasn't being ridiculous about it. I've decided that I am going to add another couple of extras for if I end up having time, based on recommendations I've got from Louise at Foxes and Fairy Tales. So the books that she has mentioned recently, which I've decided to put on my May TBR, are The Incandescent by Emily Tesh, which is a fantasy novel about a woman who works in a magic school. But based on what Louise has said and what I've read about the book, it's more about the day-to-day running of the school and the politics of the school and all of the drudgery of being a teacher, which I used to be a teacher, so I think I'm going to sympathise, rather than the exciting adventures and shenanigans that happen within the magic school. So that really appeals to me, and it's also going to fulfil my court intrigue or court politics square for Reddit Fantasy Bingo, because Louise assures me that the politics of running the school is important to the story. Oof, wow. And also because Louise has kept mentioning this book and going on about it, I'm going to give a try to A Holy Maiden's Guide to Getting Kidnapped by Katie Nyquist, which is about a young woman who serves as a holy maiden and has healing powers, but every time she saves someone, she loses a day of her life. So doing her duty is shortening her life, and she's not particularly happy about that, and she's not particularly happy about the pure reputation and presentation of herself that she has to maintain in this role in the city. It's a romantasy, I believe, but I think there's some queer aspects to it, which always improves things in my view. And it sounds like it could go either way. It sounds like it's probably quite irreverent in its humour, and it might be a bit silly. And sometimes that works for me, but most of the time probably not. So I'm going to go in with as much of an open mind as I can, and hopefully it's, you know, a book that Louise has enthusiastically recommended multiple times. So I'm hoping that we'll cross over in our enjoyment of it. But if I do get around to it, I will obviously let you know. And last but not least, I have actually broken well, I'm not really on a book buying ban. I don't like the idea of a book buying ban because, you know, buying books is part of life. But I have been trying my hardest to fulfill all of my reading challenge prompts and all of my TBR selection requirements from books that I already own or books that are already on my audiobook wish list. The ones that Louise recommended I will have to obtain, but I suspect I can maybe get them from the library or get the audiobook on one of my subscriptions. But anyway, we'll work that out when we come to it. But gosh, real ramble fest today, Stanley. Sorry about that. I have also recently purchased a set of books specifically for a video that I'm planning for May, where I'm going to get dice to dictate my day, and you will have to wait and tune in for the vlog. I think it's going to be a mammoth undertaking, but a lot of fun, to find out more about that. But because I wanted a specific type of book to add into my selection for that video, I have bought a box set of Fieran after, what's it called, Beyond Journey's End, and I've got the first 5 volumes of this manga, which I've heard a lot about, and I thought would be something that would appeal to me. It's about an elven mage who is travelling around later in life, after giving up adventuring, going, I believe, back to visit different places that she's been before on her adventures, and visiting different people that were in her adventuring group and that she met along the way after the fact. So it's kind of like a reflective slice of life rather than wild adventures. But I think it sounds really good, and I've got the first 5 to give a try to. And finally, for this video, I want to say a huge thank you to everybody who has supported me, everybody who has watched any of my videos, given me ideas for videos, inspired me, taken part in any aspect of my videos, because as of the 1st of May, I have completed my first year on BookTube. We did it, Stanley. We've done a whole year of videos. Isn't it cool? I'm still having a fantastic time doing this. Stanley is enjoying it too. I mean, I know he always looks very laid back, but he's very excited and very grateful as well, and appreciative of our viewers. If you've just popped in from Louise's channel, hello, welcome, and I hope you stick around. Otherwise, I would love it if you don't actually know me personally, because I know most of the people who watch my videos and subscribe are my friends and family, and I love that, and I'm so grateful to you all. But I know there are some other people who do watch my videos who have come across me in other ways, and I would love to know how. How did you find me? How did you find Stanley? What do you think? How am I doing? I went into this completely blind, knowing absolutely nothing about recording videos. I kind of based my content on the sort of stuff that I like to watch, so I hope that means that other people like to watch it too. It's developed over the course of the year. I introduced the Read It or Yeet It challenge partway through last year, where we pick 3 books that are less appealing from the TBR and give them 50 pages, and then decide whether to read them or yeet them. And Stanley's discovered a whole new side of himself, yeeting the books off camera and taking out the tripod and all sorts of stuff. It's been ridiculous and very exciting. Yeah, so that's my favourite series to do, I think, and it seems to be quite popular. But if you've got any ideas of ways I can improve my videos, different things that you'd like to see me do, any comments, all comments, as long as they're relatively nice, welcome down in the comment section. Please do let me know you were here. If you just want to pop up for the first time and don't have a lot to say, just give me a stack of books emoji to let me know that you're watching. It's been a roller coaster ride, and I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. This is probably the most fun thing that I do with my time at the moment, and it has absolutely transformed my reading life. So I don't think I'm going to go back to the sad old days with no BookTube videos. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling because I've been waffling on. Thank you again for watching. Do let me know in the comments what you're reading in May, and how you decide. How do you pick what books you read? That's my question for this month. How do you pick the books that you read? Do you just pick them off the shelf randomly as you feel like it, or do you have some kind of a system? Let me know. I'm interested. But yes, I will hope to see you in another video very soon. Bye for now.